Hello everyone. So today we're going to look at how to find the surface area of a cylinder. Technically, we're not doing anything different. We're still using that surface area equals perimeter times height plus 2 times the area of the base. That has not changed. The only thing that has changed is now our base is a circle. So we need to remember all of our circle knowledge from previous lessons in order to be able to do this lesson. Now, I recommend you show your work. Showing your work and writing out and labeling everything is going to be super helpful because there are a lot of steps when finding surface area. The first thing that I recommend doing is labeling what we know. We know 40 inches is our height. We also know that 25 inches is our radius because the radius is from the middle of the circle to the edge. Now, since we have to find the perimeter as well as the area of the base, we're also going to need to figure out the diameter. So if we know the radius equals 25 inches, we can use the fact that diameter is 2 times the radius. So we're going to do 2 times 25 and get a diameter of 50 inches. Now this is going to be helpful because it allows us to be able to find the perimeter and the area of the base very quickly. So I'm just going to go in order, and right here it says P equals our perimeter or our circumference. So P, we're going to find that first. And in order to find circumference, we have to do pi times diameter. So we're going to do our approximation of pi, which is 3.14 times our diameter of 50. So when I take 3.14 times 50, I get 157 inches for my perimeter. Now our height, we already labeled, is 40 inches. And then the last thing we need to do is we need to find the area of the base. We need to find that capital B. And to do that, we're going to use the fact that the area of a circle is pi times radius squared, or pi times r times r. We know our r is 25, so we're going to do 25 times 25 times 3.14. And when we type that into our calculator, we get 1,962.5 as our answer. Now that we have our perimeter, our height, and the area of the base, we can use our formula SA equals perimeter times height plus 2 times the area of our base, or capital B, to figure out the surface area. So I'm going to show every step, and I recommend you do this as well. Surface area equals our perimeter, which we found was 157, times our height, which was 40, plus 2 times the area of our base, which is 1,962.5. Now, we have to remember order of operations when we do surface area. We have to multiply all the numbers before we can add our numbers. So when we do 157 times 40, we're going to do our multiplication first from left to right. So 157 times 40 gets us 6,280. And then we have to do our multiplication over here as well. So then we have to do 2 times 1,962.5. And we get 3,925. Now we can do the final step and add those two numbers together. I know it seems like a lot to do all of these steps. However, writing them out is actually going to be more helpful, and then you won't have to go back and redo the problem. You can just look at your steps and see where you went wrong and restart it from there. Now, the only thing I'm forgetting in my answer is, of course, units. Since this is surface area, it's going to be inches squared. And there's our answer. Now, this was the case that they gave the radius. I'm also going to walk through a case where they give us the diameter instead of the radius. So we know 18 is our height. Remember, label what you know right away. 6 is our diameter, and we know it's our diameter because it goes all the way across our top of our circle. Now, if our diameter equals 6, we also need our radius, and our radius is going to be our diameter divided by 2, and I can see that right here. Radius equals diameter divided by 2, so our radius is going to be 3. Now we can start filling out what we know, or finding out what we know. With our perimeter, we're going to find the circumference because it's a circle, and we use pi times diameter. So we're going to do 3.14, our approximation for pi, times 6, which equals 18.84 meters. And then we're going to label our height. So our height is 18 meters. And then we have to find the area of the base. So the area of our base, which is capital B, is our radius times our radius times 3.14. And I'm just using a calculator for this. And I got 28.26. And that is meters squared. And this 18 is meters. So when we plug this into our formula, now that we have all our parts, we're going to use that surface area equals perimeter times height plus 2 times the capital B, which is the area of the base. So our perimeter is 18.84. Our height is 18. And we're going to add that to 2 times the area of our base, so that 28.26 number. And that is going to equal our surface area. Remember, you have to do the multiplication. You have to times those numbers and times these numbers before you can add because of order of operations. So we get surface area equals, when we do 18.84 times 18, we get 339.12 plus the 2 times 28.26 number, which is 56.52. So then our end result, once we add those two numbers up, we get 395.64, and then don't forget your units. A lot of you are getting points off now because you keep forgetting your units. Now, we always go back and it's meters, and since we found surface area, those meters are going to be squared. So make sure when you're walking through your practice problems, you determine whether you're given the radius or diameter. Problem 1, you're given the radius. Problem 2, diameter. Problem 3, diameter. Problem 4, the radius. So make sure you're careful and you're using the right numbers in your formulas. Now this video was a little bit longer, but go ahead and just make sure you're taking your time and showing your work during this lesson.